So I think one of the key things that we use the checkpoint for is when it comes to someone's leadership behaviours, there's a pairing that we'll often look for to work out how someone's leading both themselves and their team. So we'll look at the values of both responsibility and accountability and see how they're scoring individually. So we score it from 0 through to 100% and see what the score is for the responsibility, see what it is for accountability. Right. Ideally what we're looking for is someone that manages to hold themselves at the same level as what they'll hold their team. So they're as responsible as they are accountable. That's the perfect world. If they're both low, we want them both to improve. If they're both high, great. Then we're getting the types of behaviours we're looking for. But what we can also look for is where there's an imbalance. So, and this plays out with how people lead their teams. So if someone is really responsible, but they're not holding their team as high a standard, so they're not holding their team as much to account as they hold themselves, then this is the type of person who's going to say, I haven't got the time. Look, it's just easier for me to do it myself. I'm going to get in and do it, and everything else will work out. And what they're not doing is using their team. Either they can't train them, or they don't feel they can train them, or not confident enough to train the team to do the work. They're uncomfortable being assertive or holding to account or just having that type of conversation. And what it does, the leader starts to get resentful. So they spend more time doing stuff than what their team does. And the team also is starting to get annoyed because they can see their boss working, but they're not helping. Equally, it's just as problematic the other way around. So the leader holds themselves to less of a standard than what they do the team. So the team's pushed to the limit. They're working, and think of it where it's real disparity. The leader then is, the type that's got their feet up on the desk, right? So in this sense, the team's getting really resentful of how the leader's behaving, and we've got to work on the leader's either procrastination or difficulty of making sure that they're holding themselves to the right standard. So what we're looking for is that not only that responsibility is high, accountability is high, but the balance between the two also works. Because if there's an imbalance, then the system, both for the leader and for the team, is inefficient. And there's work there that can be done to make it better. So we're going to look at that balance.